in the first tier of Japan League. We will be talking about that one. As I said, basically we'll be doing the analysis of how games went over the weekend. Yesterday night was not all that a good one for Manchester United fans, as two late goals stole the soul for the team of Arsenal, and we saw Liverpool continue with their brilliant start of the season, and they put a star performance against Aston Villa, and Real Madrid on Saturday got it late against Getafe, and the coming back of Kylian Mbappe for Paris Saint-Germain, and Paris Saint-Germain is winning games for fun, and it keeps on piling pressure on Laurent Blanc, the new coach of Olympique Lyon. But I cannot talk alone. I need to first introduce my colleague, that's Susie Linda. Good afternoon, and how was the weekend?
Good afternoon, Benson, and good afternoon if you're out there. I should say you're most welcome for our biggest show that probably happens in the region. Like Benson has said, my name is Linda Susie, your colleague host, possibly I should say a sports pundit that West Nile region has. And the weekend was quite good, with a lot of betting tickets collapsing, I should say, because I'm quite sure Manu fans gave it out to Manu, and then Arsenal fans gave it out to Arsenal, but first half brought in a lot of ulcers because we saw it ending on a 1-1, and then somehow I think Manu thought maybe they had finished it on a 1-1, and then into the extra minutes, that is when actually Arsenal decides to, Arsenal decides to surprise. There is my Manchester fans, sorry, because on Saturday I remember when we were living here, Manu fans had geared in a lot of energy to put in across some predictions that said, I remember Serge said 4-0. I don't want to go down to our producer because he might decide to put us off. I will probably say that behind the camera. And Liverpool, like you had said, surprisingly won the game 3 goals, and it was quite a very good one. And then about the unveiling of there is Abraham Ogusi. It has been initially the story that was spreading was that Abraham Ogusi had been unveiled by the Black Angels, but he has been unveiled by there is a Paida United down there, and I think it's quite a very good move. And Paida United has done a lot of unveilings. We woke up to that story yesterday, and a lot of the stories that of course we'll be breaking down as the hour goes through. Yeah,
they are preparing for the new season of 2023-2024 of the Regional League, West Nile Regional League. They play in Nyagakizone, and the preparation has been massive, and it's not going to be the first of its kind. We are seeing this tactician being at the camp of Barokoro, coaching the team that's by the Black Angels. He has been there before, and it's not the first of its kind. We are seeing him working in Greater Nebi region. He has also worked with so many clubs. Recently, he has been a coach for Nebi Central. We saw him guiding Nebi Central up to the playoffs of the Regional League. They lost that game unfortunately into the hands of the Yumbebe side. That's Coach Urban. He's a very good coach, but we cannot judge him at the moment because the season has not started yet. We are yet to see how he's going to perform with the players by the Black Angels having. And to me, that's also a very big decision taken by the club to see that they appoint him early enough such that he can have that enough time to prepare these boys ahead of the new season. Let's leave that one there, and we also talk about MDD. And mind you, just a reminder to you, MDD is also part of sports. We are actually talking about music, dance, and drama. The national competition has been hosted by Arua City, by so many schools. I mentioned some of the schools. Mvara is one of them. We talk about St. Joseph's College Ombati, another school for Dasi boys. Ediofe Girls, also another one. You talk about a Republic Senior Secondary School. Not forgetting about NT Simon. They are the hosts, I should say. So it ended yesterday. It has been a one-week tournament. How, of course, it went for some of the schools we have in here in the region. We can confirm to you at this particular moment, the school that has managed to raise the flag of West Nile region in MDD is, of course, Kotsi Secondary School, a school that comes from Koboko district. And some of the viewers might also be interested in knowing how, of course, the likes of Mvara Senior Secondary School performed. Mvara Out of the 53 schools that participated from Uganda, Mvara was at number 18th. Meanwhile, St. Joseph's College Ombati, one of the hosts, they were at number 46, which means they leave 7 schools behind them, plus the other ones, which comes from that's Germany. Meanwhile, if you take a look at the overall champion, of course, went to Budo SS after collecting 7 trophies. Amus College came to 2nd position. So Kisubi Mampera comes to that 3rd position. I don't know, Susie, how it went for you.
This MDD, I think, a competition East African, for me, it was quite an opportunity that actually Arua City got the chance to host this very grand occasion, I should say. One thing is that it acted as a tourism. There is to Arua City, because there were a lot of schools that came through. We had schools from Rwanda, we had schools from okay, not generally all over East African countries as such, but then it was I should say most of the schools from Central or across the borders. There is Rwanda and Kenya. This was their very first time to probably even come to Uganda. And cross over down to there is Arua City, where we are at the border of South Sudan. So it was quite a very good one and impressive for there is for the natives over there is Arua City, I should say, quite some brilliant performances. But then it was quite absurd that the hosts, there is Arua City schools didn't feature anywhere close to the winners. I don't know what happened with our cultural dances. You know, our cultural dance is very rich and all that. Like initially, the viewer out there should be surprised that today we are discussing MDD. You people, MDD is also okay. Dance, music is also part of sports. There is, if you didn't know. So basically, we are not yet offline. We are still discussing. There is a sports. I think I had luck to our schools, and I'm quite sure they learned in their lessons, and we're pretty much sure that maybe next time when this returns, we'll be able to also at least compete.
Our schools from West Nile region, they also had performances like how it's played on the screen. Just we have brought this one as an example. We'll be in a position to compile more of it. At least Muni girls, they managed to pick a trophy. We can also confirm that one to you. It was also a certain Vara, they did not pick anything like a gong, and awards were given, the likes of T-sites, we talk about the trophies, certificates were awarded to all the participants. And away from that story, we will get more of it in our Nilecast. Let's shift our attention to the FIFA Super 8, a precursor, that always a precursor game ahead of the new season, and it has already come to an end yesterday, and we saw the final being played between Bull FC and URA. Then the club's case one match, the 3rd playoffs, and also the 4th, the team that was to finish in 4th position. It was also played between KCA and Sports Club Villa. Let's start with the 3rd playoffs game between KCA and Sports Club Villa. I remember very well in one of your words you said it was going to be a game full of tension, and truly it happened. We saw a 3-2 win for the Kasasiro boys over the team Sports Club Villa. You gave your prediction and it went right. And what continues to make me happy in Ugandan football, Africa at large, is of late African players, they have understand how to put the ball into the back of the net. I used to say when we were teenagers, we used to just see 1-0, 0-0, barren doors, but of late clubs can be able to score more than 3, more than 4. That is the thing which is making me happy. Otherwise, it was Kasasiro boys that went over the Jogos, which means they are finished in the 3rd position.
KCCA, I think, has always been a big challenge. There is when it comes to a soccer club, Villa. They've had head-on collisions quite several times. They've been in the game for quite some time now, and I should say, we did a lot of analysis on this very particular game. There is on Saturday, and I remember closely giving it out to there is a KCA because one, they already lost. They already lost to there is a URA, and there is a loss that actually KCA didn't expect. Trust me, as KCA went in for that very game, they looked at a URA as an underdog. Truly. And based on also based on the sad moods that URA had due to the loss of their coach and all that. So KCA thought maybe it would be a walkover for them. There is against URA, but boom, they are surprised. URA actually did hit them out of there is the Super 8. So this time around, they needed to come close in the classification games that to actually show to the world that actually they are still the best, they are still the giant team, and they look at all the rest of the teams. There is, if they're having a clash, they look at the other teams as an underdog. So coming across close to, there is a beating Soccer Club Villa, trust me, 3-2. To me, that is not a big win. Because meaning, if the game had proceeded a few more minutes, it would come to a 3-3.
A 3-3, yeah.
It would come to a 3-3, because if you look at that game, the tension that Villa brought in towards the end was also quite there. We've seen all that. So this is not something KCA should celebrate. They just need to sit down, reorganize themselves and all that. I am seeing a lot of tension, by the way. There is a lot that is going on wrong at KCCA. The international players that actually they signed, we are seeing them almost leaving the club. And yet some of these people signed 2 years and all that. So KCCA, yeah, winning that game, but trust me, it wasn't a big win. That is according to me, much as I had anticipated the win.
Yeah, you have seen in the tournament, we have seen the big match guys going down, the likes of Vipers, you talk about Sports Club Villa, not forgetting about KCA, and actually the teenage teams coming on top. Leaving that story of KCA and Sports Club Villa, this time we are turning our focus to the biggest of it, the real final. It was between Bull FC and URA. URA, we did say they have already unveiled 13 signings. They were up against also another rejuvenated side, that's Bull FC. I also remember very well, we predicted it. We said, yeah, it was going to be a game full of tension, but at the end, Bull was going to win the trophy. Indeed, it happened after the normal time ending the goalless draws in a barren draw, and we saw Bull FC still in the win in the penalty shootout, which ended by 3-1. A good start for Abet Chikome, I think.
I think I predicted this very well. I initially said on Saturday I was seeing a draw, and then these people would actually proceed to penalties, because both sides are good. And Bull Football Club coming in to win in penalties, to me it's also not a very big win. That is luck. We've seen the best sides winning. We've seen the best sides losing out. So when it comes to me, what I take as competitive football is actually the 90 minutes of play, maybe possibly with the add-ons or the minutes, extra minutes that are added. The minutes that were added plus the 90, I think the both teams tried, and they deserve to be called winners. But now, since there was supposed to be an extra winner, and that's how both sides went into both sides went into penalties. This I clearly saw it coming. By the way, on Saturday, I remember I said that, if you remember well, in the analysis we had on Saturday. So crossing over to there is penalties and Bull winning it, I think it's quite a very good one for Bull. Bull didn't have the best of the season. There is last season wasn't quite so good for them. They started on a good note. Somehow I saw them also standing on the top of the table, and then when they lost their coach, Vipers told their coach and all that, things started going amiss. There is at the camp, and they kept sinking and all that. So I think this time around that they have reorganized themselves. I was even shocked, by the way, last season when Bull came to Oduparaka, that was in a devastating state, beat them and all that. So it was quite shocking that actually a certain Bull that had started on a good notice was beaten by a certain Oduparaka that was on the rock bottom of the table and all that the whole season. So it was quite, that was, I think, a few days after their coach had left them. So after recruiting, there is Abet Chikome, Bull coming in to win. I think it's just a good start, meaning they outsourced in a very good coach that is yet to register wins with them. Like you said, this game is actually an opener to there is a Star Times Uganda Premier League, which is to start this month, and we're yet to see. We pray that they continue, and I should say congratulations from Whistle Time Desk with LTV. Bull, they played so well, by the way. They outplayed the URA. That is according to me, they outplayed URA. They played so well, much as URA was able to hold them to a goalless draw and saw them proceeding to the penalties. But they played so well, and we pray that actually the good play continues up to the start of the season and up to the end of the season. Sometimes the Premier League 2023 season 2024.
Yeah, like you have said it, the gong they have won is another motivating factor ahead of the new season, which means they have that morale, that mentality. They can be able to do it in the new season. And I remember you have also talked about a vital point here. Truly, Bull in the first phase of the season, they performed very well. I remember they were in top 3, and also in the second phase of the season, last season, that was when we saw the downfall of Bull FC, and actually they created a history. They never won any game. I don't know if the fans of Bull are aware of this. They never won any game in the second phase of the season, and as you said, as soon as their head coach by then Esabire left, that was when we saw them falling down. So that's what happened in the FIFA Super 8. Just a reminder to you, remember we only left with 11 days for the new season of the StarTimes Uganda Premier League to kickstart, and it will kickstart the other coming week, 15th of September. So we are watching and we are waiting to see how the teams are going to start. Away from that, this time we are turning our focus to another story. This one is just an update to you because we may not take long to discuss about it. As the MDD was also taking place, another school tournament was also taking place. This is T20. When we talk about 20, I remember I've always been telling this one, we actually talking about the tournament of cricket, and it has gone into the hands of Jinja SS after beating Nakasura SS in the finals. And also Uganda, they have already unveiled the provisional squad ahead of the Ludo African Cup of Nations. People always think that African Cup of Nations is only for football, but African Cup of Nations is for different tournaments. T20, not T20, rather the Ludo, they have already summoned the provisional squad, and it's going to be hosted by South Africa. So there is one thing of late I've observed with the Uganda in taking the sporting fraternity at large. At least each and every time in continental football, whether it been at country level, whether it been at club level, at least if there is a tournament, you will see Uganda participating in it. Uganda is not missing. Like last month, we had so many sporting activities. Ugandan schools, Uganda, the country it's on, also part of it. And this time, Ludo, Emia Ludo, Uganda is also going to represent. In fact, Uganda is also going to battle, and that one will be hosted by South Africa. How good are you about this one? Uganda participating in a variety of sporting activities at continental level.
I think we are taking over drastically. If you look at all of our sporting activities, I don't know which one it is that you have missed. If you cross to, I think I shouldn't talk about football and athletics, because there we've been world champions. Athletics, we've had gold medals and all that, and when it comes to rugby, we have participated at continental level. We have won awards at that very level. The ladies football, we are plus. Basketball, we've gone to World Cup, and we finished 7th, and then the rest of the things. And netball, we have a first in Africa and all that. But this time around, coming down to the likes of Ludo, cricket, these are games initially that we Ugandans have not been able to take part in it. You can bear me witness to that.
Truly.
But then now coming up to actually start taking part in such games, meaning by the time someone is, of course, proceeding to the next levels of these games, means there has been a home competition where now the country or the team that has been selected to represent at a higher levels have been the winners. Initially, I've never seen, by the way, Ugandans participating in Ludo at that level. We've already seen Ludo competitions based at local levels and all that. So Ugandans crossing over to there, trust me, it's a very good move. And I should say Ugandans now are participating in all sporting activities. And by the way, they don't just go there to participate. They don't go to push in their opponents. They go there to participate and win, raising our flags very high. So I think it's quite a very good one, and I'm quite optimistic and positive that our Ludo team will come back winners, because we've always, most of the sporting activities where we go to, we come back as winners.
The name of the game sounds funny. Do you know how to play Ludo?
Yeah, I'm a senior.
Can you beat me? Can you beat
properly? 6? I can beat the whole team of SNL TV combined, from production to reception to the gate, everywhere.
Susie, before we go for the first half break, I know that basically will be coming to talk about the analysis of how the games went yesterday, starting from Friday, Saturday, yesterday. We need to talk about one story. It's all about one matter, 35 years of age, and he has already signed for another club. This is Vissel Kobe, a team that is in the Japan Jupiler League. And as I talk right now, the league is still going on. 26 games rounds of course have already been played. They are on top of the log with the 52 points. And this is a league where you find the likes of Gamba Osaka, Ceresoro Osaka, Yokohama FM, so many teams at that side. And speaking about this guy, he has played for a number of teams, including Valencia. He came to Chelsea, winning UEFA Champions League, Europa, FA, also Carling Cup, going to Manchester United. After leaving Manchester United, we saw him going to Galatasaray and also helping them to win that the Turkish Super League, the biggest trophy there, and now 35 years of age, has also signed for another club. Is it the money issue which is still pushing him to sign for more clubs, or else you feel this guy is still having the energy to play?
I think it's the passion to play. As you can clearly see him on the screens, it's the passion to play that actually drives one person to move. Juan Mata, midfielder, joining over to there is Japan, and the Japanese club actually unveiled him. That was on Sunday. Mata, a member of Spain's World Cup winning squad in South Africa in 2010, has actually signed in with the Takayuki Yoshida coached outfit after leaving there is a Turkish side Galatasaray over the summer. And I think it's still passion. We've seen a lot of players, retiring even before that age. To me, I think he has looked at the money as a second priority. He has looked at the passion and the urge that actually he has to play. That's why we've seen him still wanting to play and crossing over to there is the Japan side. And if almost all players looked at the passion to play and the CV, it would be quite a very good one. Unlike most of our players that actually look at the money aspect, they forget about the career, they forget about their CV and all that. Everyone is just focused on the money. This is very evident in most of the players crossing over to Saudi Pro League. If it's not money that has pushed them there, then what else is it? I don't see anything there. But talking about Juan Mata, I think basically this time it has not been the money. The money is not so huge compared to what the Saudi Pro League billionaires have offered to most of the European clubs or the European players that have crossed to there is Saudi Pro League. No. So I think this time around he has looked at his career, he has looked at the CV, and then also that personal urge, inbuilt passion to still continue to play and take part in active footballing that has pushed him to the other side.
Yeah, he has been a technical player, an entertainer. I remember him of being a free kick specialist. That's what I can tell you about Juan Mata. Chelsea sold him to Manchester United in 2014, paving way for Dos Santos and Parbo Jr. Oscar